Hi friends, we will now read a poem about daydreaming. We have heard the word called daydreaming. That is, somebody sits in a quiet place and then he starts thinking about how glorious he is, how magnificent he is, how great he is. So that is what is daydreaming. And sometimes he thinks, okay, I am going to get this, I am going to become this, that, etc., etc. But he doesn't make any effort. So this poem says, there is nothing wrong in dreaming, but don't do daydreaming. Don't do some vain dreaming, but you have to make some effort also. Dreaming has to be followed by an effort. Dreaming means not dreaming in the night. In the night, whatever we dream, it's not in our control. Whatever we dream, it is simply not in our control. But daydreaming is something which we are consciously doing. We are just sitting, and then we are thinking about how we are going to do this and how we are going to achieve this, that, etc. That is daydreaming. It is something which is in our control. And that has to be followed up by an effort. There is nothing wrong in a dream. In fact, every person has to have a dream. So we will read this poem first. I will explain the poem. Then let us see a couple of words in this, and then we will wind up repeating the poem. उद्यमेन हि सिद्ध्यन्ति कार्याणि न मनोरथैः न हि सुप्तस्य सिंहस्य प्रविशन्ति मुखे मृगाः. So this is a fairly well-known poem. It is a poem which is very often quoted. So here it is an example of a lion. We know that lion is a very powerful animal. Lion, once it gets up and roars, then all other animals are terrified and all the animals run away. So that is what a lion does. And when the lion is hungry, it doesn't go out roaring. It goes stalking. Slowly it stalks and then goes and then it runs and then falls, jumps on its prey and then catches. So lion is quite intelligent. When it has to roar, it will roar. When it doesn't want to roar, it doesn't roar. But then the lion is a highly capable, highly powerful animal. So though it is a highly powerful animal, it has to slowly stalk, slowly without noise, without making any noise in the grass. It has to slowly go and suddenly jump and then suddenly run and then jump and then catch its prey. So that means there is a lot of technique, there is a lot of effort involved, there is a lot of skill and effort which is involved. It is a question of its survival. Otherwise it will not survive. So that is, the lion, though it is very powerful, it has to make an effort. If it simply sits in its den, lion in its den, and then, okay, I am the Mruga, I am the king of animals. Lion is said to be the king of animals. Suppose it sits in its den and then happily sitting, the animals are not going to walk into its mouth. Exactly, that is what the poem says. Animals are not going to walk into its mouth. So this dreaming, coming back to the human beings, the dreaming is very much required. One has to have an individual dream. Somewhat like what Martin Luther King said, I have a dream. He had a dream not for his own person, but for the entire society, for his people. For example, the black people in America, say they were facing a lot of discrimination in those days, of course, even now. So all those, not merely discrimination, not many troubles and all that. So he wanted to, improve their, lifestyle. He wanted to improve their rights. So basically rights, even right to vote they did not have. Right up to 1960s in America, the blacks did not even have voting rights. So that was the situation. So he said, I have a dream for the entire people. So like that, the individual can have a dream. Yes, I have to work hard and become this. Somebody representing a group of people, he can have a dream for the whole society. And the whole society can be inspired by a person, a visionary. We call a person who has a dream, we call him a visionary. What is a vision? Vision is seeing, isn't it? Seeing means he sees the future. He doesn't see the present only, he sees the future, how the future can be, how the future can take shape. So we call him a visionary. So a person who is a visionary, he sees a dream about his country. Yes, our country has to progress like this. So the whole country collectively moves, and then they collectively make some effort and then move ahead. So that is what is the, say, result of the dream of a highly influential person who is at the helm of affairs. If some fool is sitting at the helm of affairs, he has no dream, he has no vision, so he will bring the country to ruins. So that is why a king is supposed to be or expected to be a great visionary. So this is what we see in this poem. A person has to make serious efforts. So if you do not make any efforts, all the dreams, it will only remain as a chariot of imagination. So the poet here uses a word called manoratha. Manoratha, the mind chariot. So you are sitting in that mind chariot and moving in all worlds. So that is what it means, manoratha. You have not made any physical progress, but you are sitting in mind's chariot and going to all places. That manoratha is of no use. So if you are not making any efforts, it will only remain as a chariot of imagination, which is never fructified. So that is what it is. And the mind will be a graveyard of all such desires. Mind will be a graveyard where all such desires are buried. So that is what it is. So we'll see the poem. Udyamena hi siddhyanti karyani na manorathaihi. Karyani udyamena hi siddhyanti. Indeed, he, the word he sometimes means indeed, sometimes means because. You can say udyamena hi siddhyanti because udyamena eva karyani siddhyanti. That is by udyama. Udyama means effort, a human effort. Human effort is very much needed. Udyamena hi karyani siddhyanti. All works are achieved. Siddhi means achievement. Siddhyanti means they are achieved. Siddhyanti karyani na manorathaihi. This manoratha is a beautiful word. Manaha plus ratha. Ratha means a chariot. Manaha is mind. Manaha plus ratha becomes manoratha. Chariot of mind. That is chariot of imagination. That is what it is. Chariot of mind means chariot of imagination. So all words, all deeds are achieved by udyama, making a human effort, and not by mere chariot of imagination. Then the second line says, Nahi suptasya simhasya. Simha is a lion. Simha. Suptaha simha. Supta means something which is sleeping. Supta, sleeping. Suptasya simhasya mukhe. In the mukha, in the mouth of that sleeping, lion. Mukha, the word mukha means, in Sanskrit, the word mukha has two meanings. One is a face, other is a mouth. The simha may be having a huge mouth, but then the animals are not going to walk into that. That is what the poet says. Suptasya simhasya mukhe murgaha means animals, na pravishanti. They don't enter. Murgaha na pravishanti suptasya simhasya mukhe. Into them, they don't walk into the mouth of a sleeping lion. Lion has to jolly well wake up, it has to slowly stalk, it has to run, pounce on the prey and then eat. Only then it can achieve. So similarly, a human being cannot achieve anything by daydreaming. So we will read the poem again. Udyamena hi siddhyanti karyani na manorathaihi nahi suptasya simhasya pravishanti mukhe mrugaha. Okay,